Speaker, on the weekend we obviously had the federal election, and I know that many communities around the state particularly expect their members from different levels of government to be able to work together positively for their communities and to make sure that they achieve good things for their communities. I'm thrilled to see that Kristy McBain, our wonderful federal Labor member, has been re-elected in Eden-Monaro, because that's exactly what we do together. We work on issues for our community, we produce results for them, and we discuss issues and see how we can get those fixed. And we do that as well with our local governments in the local area. We work on things like the health system, where we've seen urgent care clinics delivered in Queanbeyan. We saw a wonderful announcement of mental health Medicare clinic in Queanbeyan by Kristy during the federal election campaign. And then jointly we work on things like the new women's change rooms at the Kangaroos club and at Seaford Oval, on the Bombala Hospital, where the state will be funding capital program and the Commonwealth will be funding the aged care places that we're going to be putting in there, and on a fantastic Cooma housing project where we have 120 blocks of land being developed on Crown land as part of this government's initiatives to try and increase the housing supply. And that will also include a couple of blocks of social housing, some key worker accommodation, some aged persons units as well. And we've been able to do that because the federal government, out of their housing funds, has helped us to fund the capital for the infrastructure on that project. It's a terrific way of being able to work, and I'm very pleased that Kristy's hard work over the last years since she was elected in a by-election paid off so well during the election campaign and with the result on election night. The election campaign itself was very interesting. I don't think I can remember, and I have been around for several decades in the area, a Liberal Party campaign which was obviously so heavily funded. Television advertising, blanket signage, people in blue shirts, wall to wall, which I think actually served to turn off quite a lot of voters. But it was obviously an extremely well-funded campaign. But Kristy's campaign, led by her wonderful team, including Lee and Stephen and Noah and a range of other people, a huge range of volunteers, was out there giving the personal message about why they thought Kristy McBain was so good for Eden-Monaro and why she should be re-elected. And it was terrific to see that she was. Now, there's a couple of interesting things about this election, because the boundaries of Eden-Monaro changed quite a lot, and probably I don't entirely agree with where the boundary went, but the boundary went to include in Eden-Monaro Goulburn, and it's the first time Goulburn has been included in the electorate since 1984, and in that time Goulburn has not had a Labor Member of Parliament since 1984. So for the great news for the people of Goulburn is that after 41 years, they now have a Labor Member of Parliament. Great news for them and the representation that they are going to see in their area. And in fact, I spoke this afternoon to the last Labor member for Goulburn, Jim Snow. He's 90 years old. He's living on the south coast now. But he's absolutely thrilled that Kristy McBain has now become the member representing that area. He was the member for Eden-Monaro from 1983 through to the end of the Keating government, and he was a fantastic representative. And the member before that, I know that members would be interested to know, who represented Goulburn for the Labor Party, was my dad in 1972 to 1975. And prior to that, Alan Fraser, who represented the area from 1943 to 66 and then 69 to 72. But as I said, 41 years since Goulburn's been represented by a Labor member, and I know it was challenging for the Labor campaign to go in and win so well in an area which hadn't been used to having Labor representation for so long, but has now got the opportunity to see just how good that representation will be, and I look forward to seeing the representation that they will get over the next few years. As member for Monaro, the entire Monaro electorate is within Eden-Monaro, so I work on a day-to-day basis with Kristy McBain, have a terrific working relationship. I do congratulate her and the wonderful team that has worked around her, and I also thank her family for their support that they provide to her and her husband Brad and their 3 children, for their patience in being part of the team that delivers such good representation to Eden-Monaro.